Black Ops 4. You may be thinking, how did we get here? Or you're running, who the fuck is on my screen right now? In that case, hi, I'm Chudjim. This was easily the most controversial zombies game to ever be released. With how much hype the ending of Black Ops 3 generated, this game looked to over-deliver as it had 4 brand new maps at launch, which has never happened before. Unless you count Transit, but those survival maps were just extensions of the Transit map. These are 4 new original maps, with 2 of those featuring a whole new story and cast of characters. But today, I'll be focused on the Ether characters, just like I have been for the last 2 videos. Now you may be saying, these characters were all banished at the ending of Black Ops 3. How were they still alive? Well, you see, there is one very important map. Releasing on October 12th, 2018, it was one of the 2 launch maps that we got for these characters. When it was first revealed on May 18th, earlier that year, the crowd went absolutely nuts. This was easily the most demanded map ever in COD Zombies history. There was so much hype because of the version before it, but in order for you to understand that, I must take you on a little side quest.
You can't hide from the law.
You see, Blood of the Dead was actually a remake from this map on Black Ops 2. Taking place on Alcatraz, you follow 4 new characters: Billy Handsome, Michael Finn O'Leary, Salvador DeLuca, and the most important of them all, Albert the Weasel Arlington. They attempt to escape the island, but keep getting overrun by zombies. Albert Arlington devises a plan to escape by taking a makeshift plane and flying out of there. It does actually work for a little bit, until it crashes into the Golden Gate Bridge, making the other 3 members get even more frustrated, leading to a standoff on top of this bridge. Billy, Finn, and Sal kill the Weasel, making the cycle continue, not just in this map, but in the entirety of the zombie storyline. Turn it a little to the left, Weasel, a little to the left, dude. We're gonna hit the bridge. The Ether crew continued their story from Ascension to Revelations. Everything happened exactly how you remember it. They go on to be banished back to the past to fight in the Great War, just like what Chaz Palminteri says.
You cannot change your life unless you change something.
This exact cycle continues an infinite amount of times as everything happens the exact same. But what if I told you there was a way to disrupt this cycle? Sal, Finn, and Billy are meant to kill the Weasel, but what if the Weasel kills the other 3? This changes everything. In Black Ops 3, as we all know, we go from map to map collecting each member's souls, with Dempsey being Derizendrach, Takio being Zetsubo, and Nikolai being Gorod Krovi. Now with the broken cycle of Weasel being victorious on top of that bridge, instead of them traveling from Zetsubo to Gorod Krovi, they travel from Zetsubo to the Alcatraz prison, and the Canorium has changed. Remember, this is the book that tells the entire story, past and future events. This frustrated Richtofen, and before we could even manage to escape, the Warden breaks our teleporter out of here, causing us all to be stuck here. We now need to find a way to escape this island just like the 4 others before us. The first step, I need to turn on the power, which has 2 switches. I turn the first one, which unlocks this catwalk door. When opened, it will spawn a ton of zombies. I recommend either doing this on round 1 or wait until your specialist is fully charged, because this part is pretty difficult when you don't know what you're doing. Not only is it a very claustrophobic area, but also these arms come out of the walls and that will hit you when you pass, which makes it so you can't regen your health. At the end, you see the Warden off in the distance, and if you shoot him, it makes him spawn, and that's actually what we want. Aiming for the head is the best way to kill him. This drops the first part to the shield, which is also required for the Easter egg. All the zombies that you kill heading towards the prison does not count towards the round, allowing me to keep killing these guys and getting a bunch of points, which allowed me to buy into the map, collecting the 2nd and 3rd shield part. Before building that, I turn on the 2nd power, which spawns in another Warden, getting me even more points. Building the shield here, this shield is unique as not only does it give you protection similar to the other shields, but also you need to suck up zombies with the key attachment to charge your shield with electric bursts. In Mob of the Dead, you could use Afterlife mode to shock these panels to turn them on, but in Blood of the Dead, we do not have that access to Afterlife, which is why we now have to use the shield. Shocking this panel unlocks Pack-a-Punch. Also very similar to Mob of the Dead, you still have to feed zombie dogs to collect the Hell's Retriever. However, besides this one, all the other locations are different, which brings me to a new part of the map. Past the Warden's office, you can find his house, which will be important later. Right now I need to kill more zombies filling up this dog. Once done, I went to the 3rd and last dog to fill him up as well. This allowed me to pick up the Hell's Retriever, which is picked up by going through the Warden's house tunnel and holding Interact. I head back to the Warden's office because I forgot to check for these numbers. Using that code, shock the box down at the spiral staircase and type in the same numbers. When they blink, you know you did it correctly, and it will drop this cage in the center. Instead of getting a part inside that cage like in the original, you run past that room and go out to the dock. Shocking this panel moves this net, and throwing the Hell's Retriever drops a spoon, and you can pick it up as a melee weapon. That's right, a spoon. You can even upgrade it to the golden spork, which makes it a 1 knife until round 34. With the spoon in hand, I smack this wall, causing it to be ripped. Now I'll need to obtain the monkey bombs. Lucky for us, there's a way to obtain them without even needing the mystery box, but does require a level 2 specialist weapon. So all I need to do is get kills with it to level it up, and during this time I upgraded my shield, which increases its durability and the storage of electric charges. Then collected all the skulls needed to unlock the free blunder gat, and built the acid gat with it, making it now shoot acid rounds that explode instead of the regular bullets. Under the stair staircase near the OG Mob of the Dead spawn room, I pull up my now level 2 specialist, making the zombie soul collect behind me into a monkey bomb, shooting its hat once it's glowing red, and heading back towards spawn to pick them up. They unfortunately take place over the Hell's Retriever, so we can't keep them forever, as I need the Hell's Retriever back for later steps in the Easter egg. Now I need a warden to spawn in. Instead of waiting, I shock the box again and enter 666, making one spawn, and taking him all the way back to his house, and throwing a monkey bomb on top of these stairs makes the warden smash down and breaking that wall that I knifed earlier with the spoon, allowing me to go inside and officially start this Easter egg. I interact with this corpse, reveals that the warden had killed himself via electric chair so that he could watch over the prison from the afterlife. So now I need to get the fuck out of here. Zombies will start spawning again, trapping me in there. Running back to spawn, placing the red orb I had picked up in the warden's room and placing it on this picture on the wall. Then interacting with the canorium, this reveals a ghost bird that flies away towards the prison, and now it's my job to find it. Supposedly this is Weasel from the original map, as in the timeline he was the only one to survive the prison. I don't actually know if this was ever confirmed or if this was just a fan theory. Once per round, I need to go around the map checking a bunch of spots using my shield vision to try and find the bird. I will have to do it another 3 times. This step is severely hated, and I think that's because people don't know if you use your shield vision out by the gondola at the start of the round, it tells you the general area that the bird will be in with this little bowl. I then just go near that area and look at 5 locations instead of the 42 scattered across the whole map. I now just need to find one more bird, and this one is a little bit different. But before I start that, I place my asset into the warden's fireplace, needing to get kills here, collecting their souls until it's ready to give me my blundergat back. I need to run it through the map towards spawn, igniting barrels on the way by walking past them and placing it onto this machine, crafting the magmagat. Now onto the final bird. This one only spawns in the warden's office and to the docks area, but the catch is you can't see it, although you can hear it, and a little spark symbol will show to confirm that you found it. Heading down to the spiral staircase and typing in 872 will spawn in a zombie blood. While in it, run back towards that bird location, and now you can see it. Throwing your Hell's Retriever at it, picking up the canorium, and placing that into the lap of the warden. Using shield vision, you can now see 3 numbers. Can you guess what you have to do now? What? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm typing those into this machine, making the lighthouse shine a red light where you need to go and shoot a red orb. There are 5 different challenges that are all started the same way, so I'll just skip over this process and focus on the challenges. In the showers, this ghost gives you a banjo. I need to pick it up and run the blue circles on the floor in here, getting kills while inside them until I hear a banjo riff. Then I give it back to him, collecting this red orb and completing this challenge. Seriously, that's it. The second challenge, I shot the ball out of the docks and do a Morse code. I say that in quotes because this step is insanely easy. I see a ton of confusion over the internet for this step. Once you understand it, it's so easy. You just type the number 1 into this, which is 1 tap and then 4 holds, then do 5 taps for the number 5. Whenever you hear the warden's laugh is the second number. So in my game, I knew it was 13 because on my 4th tap, the warden laughed, signifying that the code was wrong. If you're solo, I recommend using Winter's Wail as one of your perks, as this will give you more time to do the code as well. Anyway, now that it's complete, I kill a zombie inside the infirmary, shock this ghost, and have to keep killing zombies in here until the ghost guy starts following me, bringing him back to the docks at the ball that I shocked earlier to start this challenge. And once he goes inside the ball, you can pick up the red orb that he drops in front of it. Third challenge, I shock the ball in front of Warden's office, kill a zombie in cafeteria, shooting the ghost that spawns, and then having to protect it all the way back towards the ball we just shot. Again, collecting the red orb, and this one was another insanely easy one, which was compromising for this next challenge. Shocking the orb by the spawn power room, then interacting with this generator. I now need to do a Simon Says step similar to the moon with the colors, only this one is scattered around 9 possible lights that you can easily be missed by the fact that zombies continuously spawn, and the room is so narrow it's hard to spot the ones with lights on them without getting lost. And it's a 5 light combination too. With all this mixed together, it makes it incredibly hard to do solo. I either end up being downed or swarmed so bad I have to leave the area failing this step. I very clearly need some backup. Meet Brian.
Hi, how are you?
He's a buddy of mine I've been playing zombies with nearly my whole life, and he's never done this Easter egg before, which was an experience to say the least.
He's giving me the banjo? This is super cool though.
He had no idea what he was doing, and I made him do all the steps up to this point, which made our stream even better. Link to my Twitch in the description if you're interested. On the Simon Says step, I had him train all the zombies, and then I just kill the ones that spawns by me, making this go so much easier. 3 generators light up, and I need to write down each one and look at the symbols for all 3. I actually didn't find the 3rd light in time, making me have to guess what generator I think would have had the light on. Picking up the punch card here, remembering those symbols, put that punch card into this machine, making monitors glow with certain symbols on it. I need to check the monitors for my 3 symbols, interacting with it, getting me back 3 different symbols, then going towards the power and shocking this ghost whenever he is about to pull a lever with one of the 3 new symbols I had. It's so funny, I completely guessed on the 3rd symbol and it actually happened to be correct. Doing this wrong would make me have to reset this entire step back to doing Simon Says. Thankfully, that did not happen, picking up the red orb as he drops. I have never been so lucky in my life. I only need to do one more challenge. Killing a zombie in the OG mob spawn room and shooting the ghost that spawns here. All you need to do is suck him with your key until he is completely red, and then killing him with the chain trap, dropping the final orb. We are now ready for the boss fight. Heading back towards the warden's room, all players holding interact starts the best in-game cutscene in COD Zombies history, with the warden spawning behind you, knocking you out, and waking you up, trapped inside of the jail cells. To summarize, he says in his big, strong warden voice
that he has been hunting us down for decades, and we will forever rot in these jail cells.
That is, until Weasel in bird form shoots into the power panel next to us, opening our cells and setting us free. Now we need to collect our guns and run back to spawn, place on our red orbs onto this picture, revealing another crowd chamber behind it, and then to the right, the boss fight room door opens. Now when I say this boss fight is extremely easy, I mean this boss fight is extremely easy. When the game first dropped, there were so many blue screens and crashes, they later updated the game to feature less zombies and lower bosses' health. 2 magma shots kill a warden. Once all wardens are dead, shoot the red balls over this and shield charge the ball above this machine. Do that 3 more times, and the Richthofen player needs to get inside the machine to collect his blood, unlocking the crowd chamber that we just opened up, revealing it was Great War Richthofen inside. This is the same one that was banished back into the time at the end of Revelations. Running back to the boss fight, completing this Easter egg once and for all. And for those of you wondering, Richthofen is not fine. The crew used his blood to open up portals for them to escape, leaving him to die, which was told to Richthofen in the Canorium at the beginning of the map, but he didn't want to listen. Great War Richthofen tells the crew that they must take down Dr. Monty instead of following the cycle and heading to Garad Krovi. Releasing alongside the previous map, it was considered to be the bonus map to coincide how much content there was for day 1 on Black Ops 4. This map is actually a remake of the map 5 from Black Ops 1, and storyline wise actually takes place before it. Even though the map itself looks much worse off than its predecessor, this time you don't play as the politicians from the 60s. Instead, you play as the Ultimus crew, which is from Shino Numa through to Moon. These characters have been imprisoned for blowing up the earth while the other crew is going through their timeline. This may all sound extremely confusing. I have a video linked below which is of the entire COD Zombies storyline, which hopefully would clear things up for you. The Pentagon Thief also is not present on this map, as again, Classified takes place before 5, and that is because he is on Ascension working on a rocket with Dr. Gersh, which is explained in this map's intro cutscene. First I need to turn on the power, which I actually found in the same spot as the original, but before I do that, I need to collect some parts. Buying into this area that is not available in the original, picking up the first part to the shield, then buying across the other hallway, and here is a teleporter part I found right here leaned up against this desk. I made enough points to buy the elevator entering the war room. Here I again found another part to the shield, then picked up this key, which will be needed later. Taking the next elevator down to ground floor and turning on the power. Then gathered the last part to the shield, but needed to make more points to buy into the room to build it. Next picked up another teleporter part, then built the shield, which will be needed for later steps. In the war room I launched into DEFCON 5. Taking the portal in the middle only gives you a part, instead of giving you Pack-a-Punch like in the original. I built it up here near the spawn room. When placed, will allow you to go into Pack-a-Punch. I took it and it'll actually bring you to Groom Lake, which is the Area 51 location from the map Moon. Next I needed to collect 4 codes around the map. That key I picked up earlier unlocks this desk up top, giving us our first code. The next code is grabbed by entering DEFCON 5 in a specific order, taking the portal in the middle and interacting with this TV showing us our next code. The next code is insanely easy, just shooting an explosive towards this wall, making the code show up on the wall next to you. The last code is found by shooting these presidential nameplates in this exact order, making George Washington's open up, showing us the last code. Now I type those codes into this machine in the war room in the order of Washington's nameplate, desk key, explosive window, then the teleporter room, which makes the screen say Project Scatty Retrieve. Now take the teleporter back to Groom Lake and stay alive here for 3 whole rounds. It will give you a free max ammo and a bonfire sale, which makes any weapon cheaper at Pack-a-Punch. Although the real cherry on top is in this briefcase, the Winter's Howl, which is way better than its original version. But that's seriously it. Well, for this side quest. The actual cutscene main quest requires you to get to round 150. You did not hear me wrong. Round 150. The strat is pretty much just sitting in this corner with the shield until you're about to run out of ammo, and then buying another shield constantly. Running Victorious Tortoise, which immunes you to all incoming damage when you have the shield out. Also using Stone Cold Stronghold, making a blue ring at your feet. When inside, boosts your damage, and since I'm not moving, it is a perfect perk for this. Well, that is if the game would let me make it that far. Crashing on round 88, and as you can imagine, it is insanely frustrating. I even gave up on it. Well, for now. I do plan on coming back to beat it. Again, follow my Twitch to see those. Since I won't be beating the actual Easter egg, I decided to 100% the trophies on the map instead. bad. First off, I actually already have 3 trophies earned. One we just did, which was Cold War Remedy. That was getting the Winter's Howl. And then Crawl for Help, which I must have did randomly when the game came out because I don't remember unlocking it, which is good as I would have needed another player to get it. Along with Primitive Strike, which I probably would have gotten anyway because of how much killing I did in this match. In the list of trophies that I actually need, I could get a 2-for-1, and both are extremely easy. Just don't turn the power on and or take an elevator for 20 whole rounds. I pretty much threw my Wraith Fires at the ground, killing my whole train and just needing to watch this one window. Getting both, like I said, really easily. Next, I'm working on Shock Value, which requires this trap part and the power turned on. Placing the trap part inside this machine, then train up a bunch of zombies, turning on the trap, and then walking them through it. Repeat this process until I get the trophy. The next one is Pentapagon, which means I have to stay in this small elevator for 5 rounds. It may seem easy, but it's really not. At least I was smart enough to pack a bunch before this, but I had to spam my specialist because of how tight this area is. Finally getting the trophy. It wasn't pretty, but I got it, and that's all that matters. Next up, I have Breaking the Ice. I just need to freeze zombies with the Winter's Howl, and then shoot them with a bullet gun, shattering them. Again, it's fairly simple. Unlocking this one relatively fast as well, but nowhere near as simple as this next one. Going everywhere fast. You just have to run into teleporters a lot for a whole minute to get it, which I did here, and moving on to the last one, I completed with high rounding. You know, before the game decided to fuck me. I just needed to kill zombies while I'm infected by the Nova Crawler gas, which was again fairly simple, just standing in this corner and shooting them at my feet, getting hit with the gas, and then shooting the zombies in front of me. Getting the final trophy on the map. Honestly, not hard at all. Only if getting round 150 was more of a skill issue than a game issue. So that was it. That is all the trophies unclassified. I do wish I got to round 150 officially to beat the map, especially after the nightmare that was the last map. The ending cutscene shows the Ultimus crew sitting inside a jail cell when our Permis crew transport here, helping the Ultimus crew escape with a live Permis Richthofen, but that is only because this cutscene takes place prior to Blood of the Dead. Nikolai has a plan and recruits Ultimus along as they will be needed as well. However, this next map does take place after Blood of the Dead. It was shown Richthofen was not willing to make the sacrifices needed to save the world, as they've been stuck in the same cycle since Origins. It was not possible for them all to make it out alive, and this was the feat that Richthofen did not want to accept. He tried saving everyone, which eventually costed him his life. They brush him off, seeking new leadership. Nikolai steps in. At the ending, Nikolai was given the Canorium to read. Think of this as getting a book of the entire universe. Yeah, you'll know if you ever get married and when you'll have kids, but you'll also know how and when you and everyone around you would die. Anyone with this type of information would drive them to the point of insanity.
A little learning is a dangerous thing. I have drunk so deeply that my every fiber aches with the pain of what has been and the pain of what has yet to come. I fear it may drive me insane. Worlds. Wars. Souls. All torn asunder by the journeys our madness has wrought. It is only now that I understand the path of bloodshed and sacrifice that lays ahead. And how such knowledge must have gnawed and clawed at the German's mind. I pity him. From this day on, it is my burden to bear. I know what must be done, and who must do it. May they all have mercy on my soul.
Releasing on July 9th, 2019, it is the third map they released with these characters. Only this time, we now have the entire Ultimus cast as well, taking the portal from Classified into this one, leading us to Camp Edward, also known as Nuketown. From this point, the community completely killed this game, myself included. Very few players even played the map. Activision actually pushed Treyarch away to work on Cold War instead, making Activision Shanghai now the head of zombies to finish Black Ops 4. The map was heavily rushed, and I had 2 times during this Easter egg where I would get a glitch step and have to restart. The cutscenes were never even changed to 2D to save money and time, which actually doesn't bother me. The story is still there regardless of how it looks, but just us as a community was very spoiled, as I'd actually murder a living, breathing human right now just to get a sniff of the depth Black Ops 4 had to up to this point. Step 1 is to turn on the power. Unlike in the original Nuketown Zombies, the bunker door opens, allowing you to go inside, and it's a whole nother map down here. Hopefully that is how Liberty Falls is, because what the fuck is this?
Pop this piece of crap in, expecting
Black Ops 6.
and what do you get?
It's insanely easy to get lost down here. I finally found the generators room and pressed this button starting a lockdown where I just have to survive for a minute. Now there are 4 different houses with gas coming out of its chimney. I need to go to that house and turn its valve all the way until the meter is in the green. Building the shield is practically required for this step, as you can easily go down attempting this. If you're unlucky and have it in the yellow house, get ready to do the hokey pokey training up all the zombies outside just to get 2 to 3 turns on the valve and then have to run out of there before you get swarmed. Doing all that unlocks Pack-a-Punch and this machine. He's named Rushmore and shows us this number pad. There are actually a ton of random codes you can type into this, like 2265, which will give you a free 1,000 points. There are more that I'll go over as the map continues. Now around the map there are 3 different sheets with a name and code on them. The most complicated code is grabbed by taking this key off the wall in the bunker and going up to the top yellow house and opening up this desk. I need to remember those and type 7626 into this number pad to then type the codes I received in the order that Rushmore asks for them. Now I'll need to get the Glava Knuckles. Found at the same spot as the OG Nuketown Zombies map. This makes your melee a 1 knife to round 16. Killing a zombie in front of this TV communicated a code. Each house up top has a letter on the mailbox and then a clock inside. The TV told me a letter, which means what house, and then the time that the clock needs to read. I changed those clocks to the correct time in the order that it gave me. This sounds really complex, but I promise you it's really not. You also get a free Pack-a-Punch gun out of this, and a ray gun Mark II off the wall, which is even better than you remember, as there are 4 different upgrades similar to the bows from Dreisendrach or the staffs from Origins. But first I have to start off by collecting the frame. There are 4 random TVs around the map, but only 1 will be turned on. Interact with it and get kills next to it until it displays a number. Then do that for the other 3 TVs, giving a full 4 number combination. Type that in order you receive the numbers, opening this behind you. Now with the ray gun frame, I can start my first upgrade. We'll start with the ray gun Mark V. A random panel in the generators area will be electric. I need to shoot it with the kilowatt Pack-a-Punch upgrade, giving me the ammo canister. Now up top, there are 5 pylons and 1 with a yellow lighting bolt on top of it. Shoot that, then shoot the other 4 pylons. Each combination is different in every game, making them all link up towards this generator. When placing the canister inside, a yellow circle is on the ground. Get kills in here without leaving it, and I'll pick it back up and bring it above Rushmore to craft it. I know, it's insanely simple. This one is unique as it will regenerate ammo when not using it. When Pack-a-Punch, its ammo increases as well as the damage, making this thing insane. Next, we have the ray gun Mark X. Similar to the last ray gun, I need to pick up the canister found when shooting a random blue glowing cabinet with cryo freeze. Then down by the APD, there will be misty blue zombies. I need to kill them with a cryo freeze upgraded gun, making them drop this random goop. Do that 3 times, then place the ammo canister in this, starting another circle of needing kills. Pick it back up and then craft it, giving us the ray gun Mark X. This one is unique as it makes the gun full auto instead of a burst like the original, but when Pack-a-Punch turns into a dual wield, and by far my most favorite upgrade of them all. Next is the ray gun Mark Y. I need to find a dig spot with green gas over it, then kill a zombie with brain rot to make it dig up our canister. A yellow orb will now spawn and I need to find it and shoot it. Then build the teleporter pad, which I totally did before trying to do this step and not forgetting. God, what do you think I am, a noob? Place that teleporter down, find the ball again, shooting it, then placing the other pad down and taking the portal with it. Shooting it again and then finding it in the storage area, interacting with it, making another circle spawn, getting kills, picking it back up and building the ray gun Mark Y. This one has a pop explosive effect, but when Pack-a-Punch also gets a charged shot that will kill any zombies within 800 feet of his shot. At least that's what it feels like when using it. For the last ray gun upgrade, eating the firebomb upgrade, shoot a random red mist cabinet, getting its canister. Can you see a repetition here? Then find a chimney with purple gas above it and throw a perfect arc for your wraithfire to land on it, making the fireplace inside turn purple. Drop a like if I made you jump. Again, getting kills inside the circle, picking it back up, then entering Dying Wish from being bad at the game, and craft the final ray gun. Also giving you a trophy when done. This one is unique as it makes it more like a shotgun, tightening the spread. But when Pack-a-Punch, it completely annihilates, killing every zombie on the map and giving you 400 points. This was a joke, it was just a nuke. Now back to the Easter egg. A Nova Crawler randomly spawns in the bunker, and I need to, without killing it, escort it back up top to this house, making a jump into this barrier, completing this step. As long as the crawler doesn't glitch out, which totally totally did not happen to be in an earlier run. Why would you think that? I now needed to call on this 80 AM unit. Summoning him, very similar to the Silver Protector, will kill zombies around you whether you want him to or not. Then take him over to this door, knifing it with Marlton on the other side. Yes, this Marlton. We use the robot to manipulate Marlton into giving us a canister. Placing that in the transfusion facility, I now needed to go around until the jolting jack spawns. Shooting an electric bolt into the panel behind me, allowing me to take this cylinder out and placing it inside the Rushmore house. Next, I keep pack-a-punching my gun until I get brain rot back. 3 pictures around the map have green gas over them, and I needed to turn 3 different zombies at 3 different locations, making them knock down picture frames with codes behind them, then placing those codes into Rushmore. I know, shocker, which makes power on the map turn off, and now there are 6 possible boxes I need to flip until all the lights above them are green, allowing me to turn the power back on, which also turns Rushmore back on. Now I need to find 3 robots around the map, with each of them needing a lockdown to be done. After you complete each one, it drops a part, and I can use that to build this robot in front of the upstairs APD. I actually head back to Rushmore and type 6662, which gives you a free undead man walking for 5 minutes. If you don't know, it makes all the zombies walk like it is round 1, making this next step of escorting this blue ball incredibly easy. Bringing him back to this robot we just built, revealing that this is now Peter McCain, who is the hanging man from the World at War map Shino Numa. I can now activate the APD release sequence, filling up this soul canister and unlocking this door, revealing the Avogadro from Transit inside. The map gets nuked above us, officially starting this boss fight. I need to run around the map and collect souls into canisters, but the Avogadro follows us, attacking me, dealing a minimum of 100 health each time. This boss fight might sound hard, but honestly, it's really not, which goes with the theme of this map in general. Once all canisters are full, you bring the Avogadro back towards the APD and knife him, getting him sucked back in. And actually teleported to Transit. I just love when they connect random things like this. The door then opens, allowing you to pick up the elemental shard, completing this Easter egg. Now remember when I told you, Black Ops 4 is a changed timeline. We are supposed to be going to Grod Crovy, but instead we went to Nuketown. And well, Dr. Monty didn't like that. He wants us to stay on the path that was originally set, killing Dr. Maxis right in front of Samantha, who is her father, making her rage deepen inside her.
We're going back to the house to kill him and burn it all to the ground. Agartha, the ether, the infinite, everything.
Releasing on September 23rd, 2019, this is the last DLC map for Black Ops 4. It is a remake for the map I previously covered called Call of the Dead, except this time there is no George Romero or the original cast, instead using Stullinger, Misty, Marlton, and Russman. You may remember me mentioning they were being kept in crowd chambers at the Blood of the Dead spawn room. Now they've become useful, as Nikolai sent them to gather the Agarthan device so the rest of the crew can sit around and enjoy each other's company in the last few moments before the world goes back to normal. Brian and I attempted to beat this Easter egg many times when the map first released and never could actually complete it, so I figured as this is the end of zombies after all, invite him along so we both can finally beat this map for the first time together, and he was all aboard. Now it's go time. Step 1, turn on all 3 power switches. The first location is the easiest step in Call of Duty Zombies history, as it is right here in the spawn room. Next, we bought into the top of the lighthouse to meet Hermit. He will be helping us out throughout the Easter egg. He tells us that we need to complete some of his challenges to continue. These challenges are not hard to complete by any means, but do pass the rounds quite a lot. We did need to get kills with the shield here, building that as well. During this time, we unlock the free Wonderwaff sniper rifle, as it is required for the Easter egg. Shoot this icicle, picking it up, and then placing it into this cooking pot, waiting for it to melt, and giving you back a key. Then you need to find 2 cranks around the map, using them to move the zipline wires to direct us towards the facility part of the map, then going back to the Hermit to pick up the last crank, allowing us to use the zipline here to enter the facility, which is a new area not even available in Call of the Dead. That has the 3rd power switch on the map. Using that key I collected earlier to unlock this safe, and then getting kills next to it to pick up the real device here and give it back to Hermit. In return, he gives us a key back to unlock the box, giving us the free Wonderwaff. This acts very similar to the Wonderwaff as we all remember, except it's worse. We also unlock the Pack-a-Punch by shooting and picking up this blue rock and giving it back to Hermit at the top of the lighthouse. Then giving him a gearbox to repair, picked up at one of the launch pads, which will be used to unlock the golden Pack-a-Punch. Whenever this area is highlighted by the lighthouse, you can step on the launch pad to be flung over to it. Traditionally, Pack-a-Punching in Black Ops 4, you need to do it 4 times to fully max out your gun's damage, but with golden Pack-a-Punch, it allows you to upgrade your guns to max by just upgrading it once. Next, I crafted the dynamite bomb, as it is needed for another step. To get all 3 parts, all you need to do is kill a fire zombie with a snowball, and he will drop the part here. Then the last thing I need is Samantha's music box. All you need to do is pick up 2 key cards in the facility area, place both cards in this machine, and then bring them down to this bunker door. Complete this lockdown here where zombies infinitely spawn, and the music box will be found on the other side of the door. They work just like monkey bombs. When thrown, Samantha will burst out, distracting the zombies, eventually killing them. Now with all of the setup away, we can officially start this Easter egg. Hermit drops down 4 dials. Yes, those 4 dials. Thankfully with a much easier step where you only need to place them down in this room and then just spin each one until you hear a ding, making this apothecary rift spawn in the middle of this room. It gets a little complicated from here as he tells you 3 riddles, each having 20 locations around the map. First, I got where Line's birth, and that is under the zip line in the spawn room. The item that you actually pick up is really random, like this time it was a bone, but my second one, where filth cleanses, is raw meat found in the eye wash station of the facility. The last one in my game was where North is found, and that one is a skull on top of the ship. Next I needed to collect the seal of duality. Thankfully this only has 3 possible spawns, making it easier to find. It is found where cages hang. Now the dynamite I crafted earlier comes into play, knifing this poster off the wall, revealing a safe. I placed the dynamite on it, allowing me to pick up the seal and place it back at the apothecary rift, shooting this red orb that floats above it until it vanishes. This now makes 3 orange orbs spawn randomly into the map. Find one, then throw a snowball at it and shoot it. Once you found all 3, they respawn at the apothecary rift, needing to throw snowballs at them and shooting them again to charge the seal of duality, which can now be picked up, then placed on top of this campfire that needs the Samantha music box thrown on top of that. A little dialogue plays between Primus and Ultimus, and I return to the Hermit for him to drop me 2 soap stones. I place them down on this spot right here and by this trap, making a laser shoot over them, causing them to now be on fire. I was actually looking at my notes for the Easter egg and didn't even notice the trap kept moving towards me, which downed me. Again, I suck at zombies. Back at the facility, I place 1 cube here, then use an ice trap to cool off the other cube, placing it onto the other side of this machine, which now unlocks this fuse. This needs to be placed inside of the OG Call the Dead Easter egg door. And next, Brian used the Wonderwolf sniper to shoot 2 pylons out at the facility, and then I killed electric zombies near these generators to fully charge the fuse door, opening it up, and it didn't visually spawn in, but there was supposed to be a blue crystal here. You could actually kind of see it for half a second of the door being opened originally, which I didn't see, so I thought we actually got a glitched game, but thankfully that wasn't the case. Anyway, I placed the seal down again at the apothecary rift, and yes, it is round 14 and I still have the RK7. Sue me. I bought the KN wall buy and just packed it because the golden pack bunch was open, then found the orange balls again, absolutely Colby the fuck out of that one. Yet again, charging the seal, placing it onto the campfire, wait for the dialogue to be done, giving the seal back to the Hermit, which starts a 2-minute lockdown at the top of the lighthouse. This part was fairly easy, but once picked back up, you cannot pack a punch anymore, and my guns were so trash. I did the side quest to get this map's wonder weapon. All you need to do is hit these targets fast in this exact order, opening this chest, giving me the Tundra gun. Very similar to the Thunder gun, except it shoots ice, freezing the zombies. This gun was trash when the map first released, but it got updated later to do infinite damage, which I don't think a lot of people know, as the player base was already extinct by the end of Black Ops 4's life cycle. Heading back to pick up the newly made apothecary device, now we need to place this into the spawn pack-a-punch, becoming a soul chest, just needing to get kills near it to charge the Agarthan device. Once it's done, I pick it back up and bring it to another pack-a-punch location, charging it again. Doing that at 2 more locations, fully charging the Agarthan device, placing it down in the rift room for the 3rd and final time. Shoot the orbs above it, and then pick it back up and place it at the fireplace. The golden pack-a-punch is the final location needed before the boss fight. Placing the Agarthan device into it, getting kills again, until the device just starts flying, initiating the boss fight. An orange circle spawns in and will take us through the map. When caught outside of it, you start to take damage, so you need to stay inside with it, occasionally stopping to get soul kills at that location. This will eventually lead you back to the facility for our final standoff here. This boss fight is easily the worst out of any of the maps before it, which is a shame, as this was the final map for these characters. I wish they would have had more time to make a better boss fight, but hey, at least they moved everybody to go work on Cold War, making that game great, right? But just wait, it's not over yet. Once complete, you still have to pick up the Agarthan device and give it to the Hermit. Zombies no longer spawn from this point on, and this moment really makes you feel alone. We also found out this whole time we could have crafted a heat pack, which allows you to stand in water for a longer duration without freezing. That would have been useful earlier. We couldn't even test it out either, because you know, lava. The Hermit then tells us to meet him on the ship. When over there, he starts flying into the sky and reveals he was Pablo Marinus this whole time. He was a test subject of Richthofen's all the way back in World at War. He gets sucked up into the portal and the Agarthan device falls from the sky on the back of the ship. I just want to say, before I pick this up, ending the map, thank you to everyone who has watched up to this point. Whether this was your first video of mine or if you've seen my 2 other previous videos, I appreciate all of you. I love zombies, and by any means is this the end for me, just the end of the series. So consider subscribing, comment Mug Root Beer if you made it to the end of the video. Anyway, enjoy the cutscene.
Comrades, as we toast our victory, I want each of you to think about what you really want. Where would you like to go now? Believe me, you can have it.
Has something gone wrong? We did everything you asked! You haven't forgotten about us, have you?
No, Sammy, I haven't forgotten about you.
It is time, Richtofen. The multiverse must come to an end. The paradox must be resolved. At least, it will be quick.
We found the Agarvan device!
I know. And I'm so sorry.
Me too, Richtofen. We fought for what we wanted. We got more than we deserved. All the chapters of our lives, good and bad. Even if there was no witness, even if no one cared to see, it still happened somewhere. We fought the Great War over and over, but victory could never be ours. We were always doomed to fail. Monty told us the truth. Our journey is the very reason this madness exists. We are the ones who fractured the universe. This is the truth the Chronorium showed me. The truth Richtofen could no longer face. When we are gone, so too is everything that spewed forth from the ether. Element 115, the Apothecars, even Monty himself. All of it will be banished to where it belongs. The dark ether. We should not be here. Our time has passed. But for all the pain and torment we have endured together, as we leave this life behind, it is my hope that you know one thing beyond any doubt.
Look away, Eddie.
You were more than just my allies, my brothers in arms. You were my friends. I would like to return to my home, my beloved, before the bombs fell. If only to die by her side.
I see myself at peace, serene, sitting beneath a cherry blossom tree, listening to the joy of my children at play. I think I'd like to teach medicine, maybe pathology.
Now, the more I think about it, the more I think I'd be a darn good DI. Get those kids toughened up.
I would like to be in favorite bar, but as long as I have vodka, I am a happy man.
I would like to know for sure that I brought honor to my ancestors. The Emperor.
I should probably try to relax. Pick up a hobby. Maybe I could open more.
Let me think about it. Wherever I go, you know I'll be kicking ass.
Hoorah!
Dude, I kid you not, I've never noticed this barrier here in my entire life.
What?
I'd never noticed this barrier before.
Dude, I'm flipping out, dude.